What's cracking, everybody? Last Pixel here. Today we're gonna be playing the Don't Starve Pocket Edition, but we're not gonna be playing on the no sweat mode anymore. We're gonna be big boys and girls and we're gonna try to play on the classic. Have your fingers crossed, guys, because I'm gonna try my best not to fail this one. Oh, and to quickly mention, by classic I mean the classic mode, but the Reign of Giants expansion. Cool! I already see our first objective, which is to activate that touchstone over there. Alright, with that activated, we have one resurrect available when we die, which is a pretty awesome thing to have right off the bat, in my opinion. As you can see, guys, the UI is a bit smaller as well. That is because I managed to discover that option in the settings and to lower it down, just because I don't really like the buttons to cover up half of the screen when I'm playing. So the strategy here is pretty simple. We're gonna try to map out the edges of every biome that we come across in order for us to know which is the ideal location for our base and for us to start building things. Now, we're gonna try to survive as nomads for the first few days, which means we're gonna max out the saplings, the twigs and the grass that we currently have, and of course we're gonna try to survive off the land, which means we're gonna pick all the berries, well, pretty much most of the berries that we need in order for us to do so. So hopefully we'll have enough food supplies to last us a few days. Now here's a quick tip. If you plan to survive as a nomad and if you're playing the classic mode, you definitely should have enough materials on you, like twigs and grass, in order for you to build some kind of a light source. By a light source, I mean a torch, a fireplace, or a fire pit, or something to keep your surroundings lit. Because if you don't have any light around you when the night comes, you're most probably gonna get eaten by the monster that lurks in the dark. I think that people call it Charlie. So yeah, that is most certainly something to keep in mind. Now there's another thing to mention as well to this tip. If you're traveling at night, there's the possibility that you might come across something terrible. And by terrible I mean like a killer bee biome or tentacle hentai or something like that that can end your run pretty much in an instant if you're not careful. Now I know what you're thinking. Tentacle hentai? What the f is he talking about? My first encounter with it went something like this.
お前はもう死んでいる。
Wonderful memories. If spanking is your thing, I definitely recommend it. Alright, let's see how much we can explore in the first few days. I'm hoping that we can stumble across something like Beefalo Herd, the Pig King, maybe a Golomor statue. Let's see. The thing is that if you plan on surviving for longer periods of time, you definitely need to take into consideration what's the proximity of your base to those objects. Let's say, for example, to a Beefalo Herd, because you can use the Beefalos for a lot of things. One such thing is using their fur for fuel to burn in the winter. Taking that stuff into consideration will definitely help you and will make your life easier as you progress in the game. Now here's another tip. If you manage to discover roads like we just did, I suggest you that you move on those roads because they will grant you additional movement speed, which on the other hand will help you to explore the map faster. Right now we want to gather enough wood so that we can make a fire when the time comes. Usually I'm not gonna camp on the first day unless I get really lucky and find the perfect spot. I'm gonna try to gather any rocks and especially gold because that will be important early on. And I'm gonna try to gather as much wood as I probably can just to be ready to place that campfire when we decide to settle somewhere. So I'm gonna keep exploring and see what I can find. Having the knowledge where everything is a pretty powerful tool in this game, especially this early on. When we set up the base, we really need to be diligent because we don't have that much of time. So knowing where everything is will pretty much make the whole thing seamless. Especially if you're in a situation where you need to find something quick. Now while I'm exploring, I'm gonna talk about some things. One is that when you're managing your resources, you have hunger, health, and sanity. Of these three, hunger is most important, health is second most important, and sanity is least important. Of course, if you run out of health, you're gonna die, but running out on hunger is probably more crucial because if you're running low on hunger, you can actually run out. If you're running low on health, you just need to not take damage. And probably that will become more easier as time progresses for you. As for sanity, at first you'll probably worry about it a lot, but as you become more and more comfortable with the game, you're gonna worry about it less, because the weird thing is that there are some benefits from going insane from time to time. Although, of course, there are some pretty big dangers in becoming insane. But we're probably gonna see that eventually. So here we go, the first night with the torch in hand, exploring like a mother trucker. Now hopefully I will not stumble upon anything dangerous. It will definitely be a major disappointment if I just die on the first night, you know? So when you're in the dark, you're losing a lot of sanity, but if you don't care about sanity, that's alright. As long as you use the map to navigate, you should be fine. Just be careful of the night monster, because when you hear the sound, you have to take your torch out, in order for you to not take damage. Okay, so we're gonna continue tracing out the edges. As you can see, that gives you a pretty good idea of what's the biome that you're in currently. Now this looks like a pretty good savanna biome. Hopefully it's big enough. Alright, so this looks like a pretty good space to place the camp. Oh, and yeah, you can freeze during the night, but that's not really a problem right now. So yeah, it looks big enough. Hopefully there's buffalo. Oh, okay. Thanks, game. We're gonna take that. Now we want a couple of things. We want some rocks. And actually it will be pretty good if we find a rocky biome, because that will have enough gold for us to properly set up our base. So we're gonna look for that and gonna continue exploring. Great, we've managed to find some buffalo. Now as you can see, we're going low on hunger. So usually we want to cook all the food we have in order for us to restore the maximum amount of hunger. But that's not feasible right now. So we're just gonna continue and eat along the way. Now the funny thing about butterflies is that you can't really kill them if you chase after them, because they'll run from you. Pretty much like this, and you'll just keep missing. So a pretty good way to get butterflies early in the game is for you to wait for them to land on the flower or to spiral down, and that's the right moment for you to strike them. So butterfly wings restore a lot of health. That's a good thing to keep in mind if you get attacked early in the game or if you're low on health. So the buffalo are just gonna breed by themselves if there's enough of them. So they'll get to a point where there's plenty. And then in the night, you can pretty much shave them without any consequence. So that's pretty much what we're gonna do when we get the razor blade. So flowers will increase your sanity. So it's generally a good idea to leave some behind in case you're running low on that. Of course, there's the additional bonus of them spawning butterflies when you need them. Okay, so now that we have our base picked out, we want to build an alchemy engine and a science machine in order for us to build stuff. We don't really need to worry about armor or food in that matter, because there's gonna be plenty. We just need to worry about setting our base as much as possible. Hey, awesome, that's the glamour statue. So that's gonna be useful later on. Hey, wait, what is this, a pan flute? Now, I don't have an idea actually what this thing is. I'm probably not gonna play it. Just in case. Or at least for now. I'm actually pretty satisfied with the run so far. We're only on the second day and we have a base picked out. And we found the glamour statue. So that's pretty good. Of course, guys, if you're not comfortable with the world that you're currently in, you can always make a new one. Alright, so we're really looking for gold at this point, and some stone. This is actually great. I think that there might be a pig king near here. So we're gonna explore here a little bit. We still have some exploration days left. I usually like to be set up with camp by day 5, or at least a little bit. So we're doing good. A few more pig houses. That might be a good indication that we're getting close. And here it is. Alright, cool. I always like to take brief looks at the map in order for me to confirm where I am. Alright, so swamp. That's good. Swamps are always good for a lot of resources. Oh, and look at those berry bushes. We're definitely gonna get them all. So we're gonna pick all those berries in order for us to have a decent supply of food in our inventory. Alright, let's continue with the exploration. Okay, we need a torch, so let me just craft one. So when you're traveling like that, you want to kind of judge where you think the land will go. So I'm not sure that if this will continue to another biome if I head down from here. So I might as well just head back to the location of our base and explore a little bit around it. You know, instead of just going south from here. Alright, time for a shameless plug. If you enjoyed the video, do leave a like. And of course, subscribe to the channel. That will really mean a lot. And don't forget to ring that bell so you don't miss any future videos. It's gonna get day pretty soon, so when the day starts, we're gonna stop losing sanity. And we're gonna get some gold and go back to where the base should be and set up shop. So if your sanity runs out, you might want to start to panic, if that is a little bit more fun for you. But really, that's not an issue if you know how to kite. Because all of that stuff that results from lost sanity can't really hurt you if you know what you're doing. Oh, here we go. The game decided to give us a bunch of free stuff, and I'm not saying no to that. Oh wait, I'm an idiot. I don't have free space in my inventory. That's why we need the backpack. But we're gonna get to that. Right now, I'll probably consume some of the food that I have. It's always good to learn the blueprints that you manage to find, because this will give you the option to build a building that you cannot build currently. So I'm gonna take some of those items, for example the net that you see over here. This will come in handy when we catch butterflies. Now if you have a net, like we do right now, you can catch live butterflies. What is special about those, you might ask? Well, if you catch live butterflies and if you plant them, they become flowers. I know that's a strange concept, but the game can be strange from time to time. Anyway, the idea is that if you manage to plant live butterflies, they become flowers, which produce butterflies. So that's pretty much an infinite cycle. And of course that will come in handy when we build ourselves a bee box. So we're gonna head back and explore along the way. And since it is daylight, this will be a little bit more easier for us. Awesome. So this is going pretty well. I mean, we've managed to get a lot of stuff. Now, I must admit, at first this was supposed to be a tutorial, but I might as well just make it a gameplay. It's a little bit more fun, and of course, if you want to learn from it, that's fine, but if you see it boring or something like that, you can always skip from time to time. I'm at least glad that you're sticking around so long for it, and that you're probably having fun watching me play. Hopefully. Okay, so usually I will advise you to jump into wormholes once you discover them, because that is technically a fast travel point between 2 points of the map. However, if you're low on sanity, I will definitely advise you against that, because you can go insane pretty fast if you jump from wormhole to wormhole. Alright, so we're gonna continue just gathering whatever we need in order for us to build up the camp. So now that we have some resources, our first goal is to set a campground in the appropriate place with a science machine and an alchemy engine. After that, we need the crockpot and a few bonus things that will make our life easier. Of course, I'm not so sure if I can make all those things up until day 5, but if not, I'm gonna make them in the next video. It's usually a good practice to have all those things up until then. Now, generally, I like to make a lot of chests in order for me to store everything a little bit more efficiently. But if you don't care about chests, you can pretty much drop all your stuff on the ground, as long as it's not food, because it spoils a little bit more quickly that way, and it can get eaten by a lot of things. Oh cool, so we have some spiders over here. It's actually very good that we're close to spiders, because we can use all that monster meat in our crockpot when we make it, in order for us to make some meatballs, which is pretty much the best recipe in the game. Oh, and spiders are also a good source of silk, so that's important as well. And we have another wormhole. Okay, so maybe this is enough exploring for today. Let's get back and set up the camp. I'm thinking that maybe somewhere around here will probably be the best spot. Don't mind me guys, I'm just passing through. Yeah, here we go. Oh crap. Well, that fire pit just exhausted all of our rocks. So we don't have any in our inventory. Oh well, no matter. We're gonna get some more. So I want that fire pit right over here. Alright, so we need a science machine, we need an alchemy engine. There's a lot of stuff we can build. We need manure. When we get our shovel and dig up some berry bushes, we need to fertilize them. And well, I can be an idiot sometimes. Oh crap. Alright. God damn it. Yeah, we need stone for the science machine. Oh well. I'm gonna do that first thing in the morning. Alright, so we're gonna cook some berries and eat them. We need to restore our hunger. Best tutorial ever. God damn it. Now, we really want to make a backpack too, because this will allow us to carry a little bit more stuff. And it will definitely come in handy. But first, of course, we need that wonderful science machine. Now, when you set up the base, you want to put everything as comfortable for you as possible. If you have to rotate the screen to play something, I recommend you to rotate back to the base rotation, because it can get a little bit disorientating, and of course there are ways that you can rotate the screen that won't allow you to place a certain building or an item. At least now we have the chance to drop some stuff from our inventory that we're not gonna use and that we don't really want just to keep there. We're gonna drop the bug net as well. We don't really need it right now. And I'll need another pickaxe because this is only with 3% durability. That's definitely not gonna be enough. And we're off. If you haven't made the same dumb mistake as me, you'll probably have a shovel by day 4 or day 5, which you can use to move resources closer to your base, because this is the ideal time for you to do that. You will definitely make your life easier doing so. By resources, I mean berry bushes, grass tufts, saplings, stuff like that. Now, of course, if you move those, you'll definitely need manure in order for you to fertilize them. Please bear in mind that a lot of stuff will stop growing in the winter, so you definitely need to prepare for that. Eventually you're gonna have to burn down some trees in order for you to make charcoal, which can be done with the torch. You're gonna need it in order to construct a crock pot, and I will recommend you to build a few drying racks because this will help you to dry off meat, which will prolong its shelf life. Oh, and of course, if you have some gears on you, I will recommend building a fridge. Gears are really valuable. They're really not that abundant in the base game. However, in the Reign of Giants edition, if you manage to locate a clockwork biome, you're definitely gonna get your hands on some gears. Now here's one more tip. Be sure to structure your base in such a way that if something catches fire, it does not spread to everything else. The biggest danger to your base in late game is gonna be fire. So yeah, fire is pretty dangerous. Speaking of which, in Reign of Giants there's a machine that you can build that will help you prevent such fires. For those that have guessed it, yeah, that's the Ice Fling-O-Matic. Now you don't really want to worry about it too much if you're far from summer, but you do want to be protected. Ooh, a top hat. I'll take that. Looks like we might have some time to explore, so I might do that. Alright, so another little tip is that grass tufts burn. They're one of the best items to burn in the game. However, I strongly recommend you to not use that because they're not a renewable resource. I personally don't use them, but of course you can use them if you're in a pinch and you don't have anything else to burn, and if you're gonna get eaten in the dark. The thing is that if you gather enough for your base, let's say a ton for your base, and they get burned down for some reason, maybe a lightning strike or something like that, that can mess up your run pretty much in an instant if you're not careful, because they're not coming back, and you won't be able to get any grass. Of course, that depends on how much you messed up. Alright, so finally we have some resources to build the science machine. Now where do I want to put that? This would be a good spot. Sorry guys for taking so long, I'd just like to organize my campground. So we definitely need a shovel. We're gonna use that shovel to collect some resources and bring them closer to our base. Oh, and you want to build a lightning rod. Now, the lightning rod is gonna protect around 2 screens of lightning. So usually I don't really get struck that often by lightning, but if you're going for the long run, you definitely want to protect your stuff. Now these walls are kind of useless in my opinion. I usually don't build walls, but that depends on the playstyle. Now we want to build some rope so that we can create a spear. Around day 5 you should start worrying about hound attacks. It can happen around that time, but they're gonna be a few the first time. So ideally you want to create a spear, so that you can be prepared for them at least a little. These next couple of days are going to be a little bit boring for you. You're going to be pretty much setting up your base and getting some essentials. One random tip to mention is that if you stand under a tree, that can help you to stay a little bit more dry, and it can help you with the heat. A lot of this game can be boiled down to gathering resources and trying to stay alive. And you will unlock characters as you go along. Of course, with different characters, there's a lot of different strategies, but Wilson is one of the best characters. I mean, he doesn't have any disadvantages, and he grows an awesome beard that will definitely come in handy later on. Probably in the next few days I'll gather a few berry bushes and set them up around the camp. Now we want to watch our hunger, because the second it bottoms out we're gonna start losing health rapidly, and there is no reason for us to unnecessarily lose health. For time efficiency, it's better to have some stuff to do during the night, such as building some tools, planting, gathering resources, and stuff like that. I like to keep one campfire so that my surroundings are lit, but later you're probably gonna have a few lanterns here and there. Also, we're gonna make this. The razor is gonna help us to shave beefalo. Beefalo fur will help us to make some clothes for the winter and will help us to start fires. It's pretty much the same value as wood when added to a fire. Okay guys, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you find this video a little bit useful, at least. If not entertaining. And of course, I'm gonna catch you all in the next one. Peace.